ಬಂತು ಈಗ ಬಂತು. ಓ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅದಾಮರ. ಹಾ ಈಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 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 ಬರ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಂತು 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 ಬಂತು. ಎಕ್ಸಲೆಂಟ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಷನ್. ಆದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲೇನು ಶೇರ್ ಏನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದೀನಿ. ಒಂದ್ ನಿಮಿಷ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಬಟ್ ಈಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು ಬರ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಗೋಲೈವ್ ಬರ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಗೋಲೈವ್ ಕಾಣ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಗೋಲೈವ್ ಗೋಲೈವ್ ಅದೀಗ ಲೈವ್ ಇದೆಯಾ. ಹೌದೌದು. ಅದು ಎಂಡ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೀಮ್ ಅಂತ ಬರ್ತೈತೆ. ನಾನ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಗೋಲೈವ್ ಅಂತ ಕೊಡ್ಲೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಮತ್ತೆ. ಹೌದಾ. ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ ಡನ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಹಂಗಾರೆ. ಸರಿ ಸರಿ ಓಕೆ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಆಡಿಯೋ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬರ್ತಿದೆ. ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ಇರಿ, ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಒಂದ್ಸಲ. ಸಾರಿ ಕಣ್ರಪ್ಪ. ಓಕೆ ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ವೆರಿ ಮಚ್. ಶಿವಸರ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಶಿವಸರ ನಿಮ್ಗೂ ಬಾ ನೋಡಿ. ಈಗ ಬಂತು, ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಆಯ್ತು. ಲೈವ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೀಮ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಲೈವ್. ಹಿಂಗ್ ಬರ್ತಿದೆ. ಹೌ ಟು ಕ್ರ್ಯಾಕ್ ಅನ್ ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ ಇದು ಬರ್ತಿದೆ. ಅಪ್ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ನು ಶುರುವಾಗಿಲ್ವಾ? ಇದು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಚಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಎಡಿಟ್ ಬಟನ್ ಬಿಲೋ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಪೇಯ್ಡ್ ಬಟನ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಪೇಯ್ಡ್ ಬಟನ್ ಪೇಯ್ಡ್ ಬಟನ್ ಹಿಂಗ್ ಬರ್ತಿದೆ. ಹಿಂಗ್ ಬರ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ? ಇದು ಬರ್ತದೆ. ತುಂಬ ಬರ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಶಿವರಾಮ್ ಸರ್ ಹೇಳಿ ಸರ್. ಬಂತಲ್ಲ ಕಳ್ಸಿ ನೋಡಿ ಮೇಲೆ ನಿಮಗೆ.
Very good morning to all of you.
Sir, ನಿಮಗೆ
looks like the numbers are promising. Good morning again.
Good morning, madam.
Good morning.
Do we start in next 5 minutes or do we start now? Or do we wait for some more people to join us?
We'll start exactly at 11:30, madam.
Awesome. So I'll just keep myself on a mute. What's the schedule like? Is there a flow to the event?
Event MC is going to start and later followed by welcome speech will be there and introduction of chief guest, and later session is over to you, madam.
Awesome. So I'll just keep myself on mute. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, madam.
ನಾನು ಕೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಿಲ್ಲ. ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಮೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಕಣ್ರಪ್ಪ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನಾ ಮಾಡಿ ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ ಕಣ್ರಪ್ಪ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾರೆ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಅದು ಮುಂಚೆ ನೋಡ್ರಪ್ಪ. ಇಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಮೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾನೆ. ಇಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿ. ಹಿಂಗೆ ಕೇಳುತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಈಗ ಕೇಳುತ್ತೆ. ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಇದು ನಾನು ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಈಗ ಕೇಳ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ? ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಆಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು ಸೆಟ್ಟಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಬಂದಿವಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ. ಲೈಟ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಸರ್ ಇದು ಇಟ್ಬಿಡೋಣ ಥೀಮ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಇದು ಬರ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಈಗ ಅದ್ರ ಬದಲು ಒಂದು ಇದು ಬರ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ, ತಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣ್ತದಕ್ಕೆ ತುಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣ್ತದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಲ್ಲ, it is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, your full experience. ಹೆಂಗೆ ಯಾರಂತೆ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ 8 ಬಟನ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ರಪ್ಪ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸೆಟ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ನೋಡಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ 8 ಬಟನ್ ಇರ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಸ್ಟೀರ್ settings of new mode. Click the 8 button below to find all your settings in one place. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇಕು ನೋಡ್ರಪ್ಪ ಅದು.
Niranjan?
Yes, sir.
Okay. HOD, sir?
Yeah, I'm present.
Shall we start, sir?
Yes, proceed.
Madam, shall we proceed? Okay, thank you. Over to Niranjan Kamath.
Yes, thank you, sir. Hello, everyone. Greetings of the day to one and all gathered here. I, Niranjan Kamath, extend a hearty welcome to all of you for this event.
Niranjan, your mic got muted.
This call is now being recorded.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Yes, proceed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Greetings of the day to one and all gathered here. I, Niranjan Kamath, extend a hearty welcome to all of you for this event. The Department of Mechanical Engineering is one of the pioneer departments in MITE. The main objective of the department is to provide academic excellence, knowledge, and nurture the talents in the area of mechanical engineering. The mechanical engineering course was started in the year 2007. The Department of Mechanical Engineering has the best facilities to nurture the mechanical engineering students in becoming the best in their domain. The department organizes various events and activities for the overall development of students. Today's talk is a part of this initiative and will be a great help to all participants. Choose a job you love and you will never have to work a day in your life. Today, we have with us our own pride alumna of MITE, an amazing personality, a great orator, Miss Reena D'Souza, as a guest speaker for the day, to deliver a talk on how to crack an interview. Sunshine is a welcome thing. It brings a lot of brightness and positivity. A glad welcome we bring to you this beautiful morning. Now, I request our MechMatch president, Mr. Nishchit, to deliver the inaugural address and formally welcome the gathering.
Hello, and very good morning to all. A very, very warm welcome to this absolutely auspicious occasion that brings so many special people like you. Young minds are like sponges and they're looking for the right input to soak it. It is with great pleasure I initiate welcome you all to this program. I cordially welcome our resource person, Ms. Reena D'Souza, a person indeed honorable and someone we are sure that you gain knowledge from our lectures as much as she will enjoy speaking to you. I welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. And I think that was a brilliant introduction altogether. I hope all of you are doing fantastic today. Am I good to go? Do I start? Is that a thumbs up there?
No, wait for a minute, madam.
All right.
Okay.
Next, I would like to welcome our beloved principal, Dr. G.L. Ishwar Prasad, who brings out the right amount of enthusiasm and his venture makes us feel at home. I welcome you, sir. Next, I would like to welcome our beloved principal. Next, I would like to welcome our pillar of support, our beloved Dean Academics, Dr. Divakar Chesley. I welcome you, sir. When it comes to molding the young mind, there is no one better than our beloved HOD, Dr. C.R. Rajshekhar. As he has a snapshot of the way today's youth think, elite as he is. I welcome you, sir.
Thank you.
Also, I would like to welcome our pillar of support, Professor Shivram Mestri, coordinator McMind, to this function. I welcome you, sir.
Thank you, Nishit.
I extend my heartfelt welcome to all the heads of various departments, placement and training, teaching and non-teaching staff. I heartily welcome you all to this program. Last but not the least, I welcome you all, my dear friends.
Thank you, Nishit. Now, I would like to request Mr. Elben D'Souza, Culture Coordinator of College, to introduce the guest speaker to the gathering.
A very good morning to all of you. I hope all of you are doing well and are away from all the dangers. My name is Elben D'Souza, and it's my immense pleasure to introduce our proud alumni, Ms. Reena D'Souza, our resource person for today's talk. I'd like to begin with her journey as a student. Ms. Reena started her bachelor's degree as a computer science engineer in our own college, Mangalore Institute of Technology and Engineering. During her second year of engineering, in an MC audition for a college day event, Professor Gerard D'Souza spotted her talent. He gave her wings to her passion by putting her through a coastal Karnataka's renowned TV channel Namma TV. Thus, Reena D'Souza's passion began hosting corporate events, stage shows, and social events. Besides being an avid speaker, anchor Reena D'Souza is a good writer and aspires to be an author. Today, Reena D'Souza is one of the renowned MCs from India, who is well known for her multilingual skills. Ms. Reena D'Souza chose Master of Ceremony as her profession because of her love for stage, mic, and most importantly, people. Here are the few television shows hosted by Ms. Reena D'Souza. Reality show Dance Warriors on Namma TV, PSL, that is Pakistan Super League Season 1 in Dubai, Pro Kabaddi Season 5, 6, and 7, and currently she's hosting the number 1 T20 league in the world, that is none other than Indian Premier League or IPL. She's a YouTuber, TEDx speaker, and has her own show called The Reena D'Souza Show. Ms. Reena D'Souza has shared the stage with famous personalities like Jeff Bezos, CEO of Infotech, Ms. Sushma Rajgopalan, Amitabh Bachchan, Sachin Tendulkar, and Anil Kumble, Brendan McCallum, and many more. She has worked for over 185 plus corporate brands, to name a few: Amazon, HP, Hitachi, Audi, Toyota, Mitsubishi, ITC Infotech, HDFC Bank, and many more. Ms. Reena D'Souza has also been awarded with Rivora Women Achievers Award 2019, Women Planet Pride Awards 2018, I'm a Professional Achiever 2018, Mrs. India Earth Talent 2016 Beauty Pageant. Let me end this speech before I run out of breath, because I can go on and on, because it's a never-ending list. So to end, Ms. Reena D'Souza is a strong, honest, and independent woman who believes in learning. And she states that her lessons from life have taken her far in life. Thus, I conclude my introductory speech. Thank you, one and all. Over to you, Ms. Reena D'Souza.
Thank you. Thank you, Elben. Yeah, we are all ears to hear from you, ma'am. May I now request you to take over the session?
Thank you so much. So I've interrupted 3 times by now. So it feels great to be having read out so much about your introduction. Thank you so much to all of you for putting together a session like this. But I won't bore you any further. Let's get straight to the topic. But before I head on to the topic, I really want to know how's the energy in the room like. So I'm going to quickly check my chat window, and I want each of you to tell me if you guys are excited for today's session. I want you to type YES, that is yes, on the chat box. And if it's a no, type NO on the chat box. All right. So let's take that moment and hearty gratitude that our entire faculty staff has also taken time out and joined us here along with McMites. So I'm going to check on my chat window. I hope all of you can type in there, but there's no messages coming in. All right. It seems to be nice. I hope all of you type YES, that is yes, on the chat box if you guys are excited. I hope that's a yes from your end right there. Wow, this is nice. Lovely, lovely. Thank you so much. So it's 93 people together in this session today, and I would like to utilize each of your minute to its best. All right. 2 topics that we're going to look at. One being how to crack an interview. But before we get to this topic, I believe the preliminary is the foundation. And that's also something that I'm going to look at, and that is effective communication skills. All right. Speak confidently. So if first part is sorted, that is speaking part is sorted. Content is the king is what I believe. And if you have content, you can speak better. So let's sort out the first point and then come to how to crack the interview. So I've divided the overall session into 45 minutes, and the rest of the time is for you to ask me questions, and based on what your doubts are, I'm going to clarify them one after the other. So let's get to it. Effective communication skills. I know you've heard this so many times. You've heard it saying communication is very, very important. But sometimes some of us probably aren't very confident to deliver the content, what we already know. So what to do then? Right? So I'm going to tell you simple things to sort out those issues. But before we head on to it, here's a video that I want to be played. Based on the video, we will analyze the video. We will learn from the video as much as possible. I would request all of you to apply what we learned from the video later on. And then we will head on to the topic 2. To the host, I hope you have kept the video ready. Could you please right now on the screen?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Well, to the entire panel members, whoever have joined us for the session here today, this video is the video of World Champion of Public Speaking 2014, Dhananjaya Hettiarachchi. All that I want each of you to do is watch this video as entertaining video. Number 2, be a good observer. What are the factors that you liked about this video? I want you to make a note of it in your book and then tell me later on the chat box. All right? Let's have it right now on the screen.
I hope you can see my screen now.
Yes, Elban.
Dhananjaya Hettiarachchi. I see something. I see something. Dhananjaya Hettiarachchi.
You and I are not very different from this flower. Just like this flower is unique, you are unique. All of us has something special that makes us as beautiful. Do you know what makes you special? Now, the answer to that can be a little difficult to find, because sometimes life has a cruel way of picking out your petals, breaking you in two, and throwing you into the trash. And when you're broken, it's very difficult to feel special. Mr. Contest Chair, my fellow flowers, I can remember the first time I broke. I was 17 years old. I had already flunked high school and managed to get myself arrested. Now, I wasn't afraid of the cops, but there was one person I was very afraid of, and that was my mama. Raise your hand if you have an emotional mother. Let me see. Put them all together, You get mama. I can hear her scream outside the police station. Even the cops were afraid. She came up to me, held the iron bars, looked into my eyes, and I saw a tear coming down her face. Now, I've seen my mama cry before, but mothers cry 3 types of tears. Tears of joy, tears of sorrow, and tears of shame. And when a son sees a mother cry tears of shame, that's a life-changing moment. She looked at me and said, son, I want you to be a better man. That night, when I drove home, my dad was waiting for me at home. Now, my dad is a cool dad. Raise your hand if you have a cool dad. Put them all together, you get my dad. My dad came up to me and said, son, it's okay. You flunked your exams. You already got arrested. That's fine. You get that from your mother's side. I want you to start working immediately. And I said, okay. So my dad took me to meet one of his friends called Sam. Now, Sam was an accountant who had an accounting firm and had generously decided to make me his personal assistant. And there he was. He looked like a teddy bear. But this man was special. I looked at him and he looked at me. And then he said the most amazing thing. He said, son, I see something in you, but I don't know what it is. If you decide to work with me, I can help you find that something. And I was like, whoa, that's the first time in my whole life somebody has ever told they see something in me. And I started working for Sam. And every day after work, he used to tell me stories about the world, about history, about culture, about philosophy. And it was much more interesting than what I learned in school. And I discovered I can dream. And I started dreaming, ladies and gentlemen. After 1 year, I went back into high school, completed my exams, and went into college. After successfully completing college, I found a great girl, but not a job. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. Have you ever had that problem? And when you're lost, it's difficult to feel special. So I went back to my cool dad. And I said, Dad, I feel lost. He said, you are like your mother. So my dad introduced me to this strange club that had a strange name, with strange people talking. On the first meeting, they told me to do something called a table topic. I aced it. But while I was speaking, I see a strange man seated in the back row, humble, simple, the unfailing quality of kindness in his eyes. As soon as I finished, he walked up to me, looked me dead straight in the eye, and said, son, I see something in you, but I don't know what it is. If you come here twice a month, maybe we can find that something. And ladies and gentlemen, I discovered I could speak, and I love speaking. And that led me to become a teacher. I know what it's like to not have enough money in your bank account. I know what it's like to worry when the bills start coming in. And sometimes, in the middle of the night, I wake up my beautiful wife and I ask her, honey, why did you marry me? She says, I saw something in you. But I still don't know what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, today I'm a dreamer, I'm a speaker, And I learned the unfailing quality of unconditional love from my wife. I was broken, and I've been broken, lost, and broke many times in my life. But the people in my life were able to reach into the trash can and make me whole again. If it was up to me, I would have never been able to do that. And this is why if you have great people in your life, no matter how broke, how lost, or how broken you become, they can piece you back together. Ladies and gentlemen, when I look at you, I see something in you, but I don't know what it is. Over to you.
I hope I'm audible again to all of you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, super. So now, I know most of you are wondering, a rose, a stage speech, how is this going to be relevant to cracking an interview? How many of you have this doubt? Could you please type YES on the chat box if you have that in your mind? Questions, if you've got that as questions in your mind, could you please type that? Can I see yeses coming in? Or no coming in? I'm going to utilize your time. I'm going to ensure that you're at your fastest finger first challenge, not just on WhatsApp, but on right here today on the session. Some of you have typed. Thank you for your efforts. Well, rose and cracking an interview may not be relevant. But what is relevant is to stay in the moment, is to understand that when you're in front of people who are going to select you for a job, you got to be realistic. You got to remember that person who's sitting in front of you is just as human as you are, is a person who's got similar emotions. And as a speaker, that's what I want you guys to learn today. See, I'm not going to talk on technical aspect of it. I've forgotten my engineering the day I finished my final year, so I'm not relevant to it. But what I'm relevant is to telling you how you can present your content in a better way to outshine and ensure that in the list of selection, your name is into it. I can guarantee you that. So lend me your attention. I hope all of you enjoyed what you watched. And if you have liked certain observations based on what you've seen in that video, could you please write down on the chat box, what did you like the most about this video? I'm going to give you 30 seconds for it. I want each of you to type something in the chat box for me to understand what is it that you understood when you watched the video, what is it that you liked, to keep it very simple, and how you can utilize it when you are in front of an interviewer who's going to interview you. The way he spoke, he's not boring, made us laugh, he was calm, communication between the speaker and the audience, nothing. Suman Yadav, that's strange. All right, humor, life-changing moment. All right, that's a relevant answers out there. All right, so you definitely can't be humorous in front of an interviewer unless and until he's cracking a joke and you need to laugh for it, right? Unless and until the interviewer, whoever it is wanting you to be different. You got to be real. You got to look inside and say, I need to connect with this particular person, or probably 3 people seated in the panel. I need to connect with each of them differently. So let's get started. All right. So number one, as we are in this virtual world today, I'm going to use this as the eyes of the audience. All right. This is nothing but the camera lens. And similarly, when you are seated in front of people who are interviewing you, I want you all to look into their eyes, not anywhere else. Look to their eyes and speak confidently. For some, it may come easily. For most, it is very difficult to do. Sometimes you need to hone these skills. You got to develop these skills. How do you do it? Simple technique. These days, you record your selfie videos, don't you? So what I want you to do is not look at yourself when you're recording the video. I want you to look to the camera lens when you're recording the video and see yourself later, gauge yourself later. Pick up a topic that is comfortable. Maybe it's a technical topic that you want to develop your skills on, or something that you're passionate about, anything that is relevant to your subject, or anything that you want to probably excel in your life ahead. Pick that which you are passionate about. Record yourself, look to the camera lens, get onto it, probably develop that skill set. And within a certain period of time, say about 3 or 6 months, you are going to get better. I would rather say if you're doing it for 21 days continuously, it becomes a habit. And now you'll feel very confidently to talk to anyone looking to their eyes. That's number one. That is called, it is nothing but captivating your interviewers. When you're on stage, it is called captivating your audience. But when you are in front of a person who is interviewing you, look to their eyes and captivate them. Rather, connect with them, right? So that's number one. Number two, which I believe is the basement for everything, and that is content is the king. So do your homework right, which is the company that you are probably interviewing for. Look for their description, do a little bit of reading, back in story, go up there. When they ask you questions, speak content, which means your technical aspect of whatever they're asking you for, and somehow figure out the way to connect it to their company's value system. When you're talking about their company, similarly, for example, someone's asking you to talk on automobiles. You're talking on Volkswagen vehicle. You are telling about the mechanism, how the entire engine performs, or etc., right? And then say, just like your company value system, I deeply believe in integrity, and I think I would be the right candidate to be up here for selection. And I think if you choose me to be your employee, I'm going to be a resourceful person, and I'm going to contribute for the company's growth. Now, the language that I have used here is purely corporate language. If you are not used to it, develop speaking the corporate tongue, because that's very important. It puts you in a better game, or probably it will put you in a front foot to take the right shot selection that is required, and place you in a better mindset in interviewers' mind. So that is important. Content is the king. So do your back-end research about the company, and also what is it that they're looking out for. Figure that out. Do your research. Be better. Put in a little more effort for it. What next is very important. I believe that everybody needs to do is do not lie. No matter what, do not fake it. When you're faking it, people always know it, unless and until you're a natural actor at it. I don't think that's the case with most of us. Neither I am. But you got to be realistic. You know the answer, you attempt for it. You do not know, it's okay. What most or what maximum is going to happen is you may not crack that interview, but you're going to use that learning and do better for the next one. Maybe you want it, or the next one is the right thing for you. Doesn't matter. Of course, top of your mind, it should be that I want to crack all my interviews. I want to be my best. I want to be, whatever I want to be, or whatever you desire for. It should be in your mind. But at times, things may not work out. That's okay. Take that as a learning. I'm sure most of you would attend at least 2 or 3 interviews and at least try and crack 2 out of it, or at least 1 out of it. So be you, nobody else. Someone else's story can't be yours, right? So most of them, I'm going to pick up a generic question. If there's a technical question, I'm not the right person to answer. But if there's a generic question that you're seeking for an answer, I want you to leave that on the chat box. I'll pick it up eventually. So if someone asks you, tell me about yourself, a very basic question where most of them falter because they've read somewhere, they've known that this is how I need to do, or this is how I need to present, and things do not come out right. So how do you do it? How do you say about yourself, right? Speak about yourself. So tell me about yourself. The first thing that you will say is, I'm proudly called by my name. Now, I know 99 of you can't use this line. So the interviewer is going to ask who did train you for it. So use different lines, something like, hi, I'm fondly called as your pet name, if any, or For example, I'm going to pick one name here, Elvin here. All right, I'm fondly called as Elvin, and my parents gave me this name because for them, I was lucky when I was born, and I think I can bring that luck to your company. But most importantly, I'm someone who's enthusiastic. Now, if you've made them smile, you've also connected with the content. I'm someone enthusiastic. I believe I'm going to be resourceful for the company, and I believe, and your company's value systems are, your company speaks of these pointers. Talk on content level and connect again to yourself. So what you need to do is you've got to go back and forth. You've got to go about the company, come back, connect yourself, tell them about yourself, make them a smile little, probably, just go on and on, but do not speak more than a minute and a half about yourself. Because if you go overboard, they might just think you are too confident, or probably he's someone or she's someone who probably thinks a little more higher than the company. So, right, nobody can be bigger than the brand. That's the whole idea here. So just speak about a minute and a half about yourself, and do back and forth about company, about yourself, and if possible, just bring that smile. If it happens naturally to you, great. If not, I want you to write down about yourself, prepare an introduction, rehearse yourself, record yourself in a selfie video, look for perfection, and when you're up there, look to their eyes and deliver confidently. All right, how many of you have already attended interviews? I think that's the right question. If there's a yes, can I see yes coming in from the chat box, all of you here? Could you please type YES on the chat box? Nice. And how many of you are already placed? If you're placed, I want you to write P, just P. If you're already placed, I want you to write P. Most of you have attended and you're waiting to be placed, is what I understand. All right, wonderful. Okay, some of you are placed. All right, that's nice. That's nice. Okay, so now when you're out there, because this is the world of competition, this is the world of the companies where they're looking for someone exciting, someone different, someone that they feel they can bank on. So you got to be a good seller, and that's very important. Remember, when you're up there on stage to speak, or you are in front of an interviewer who's interviewing you, you are selling yourself. And that's very important. That's the subject line. That's the bottom point. If you sell yourself better, you are on the list of candidates who are selected. If you haven't, or possibly not placed yourself better, you got to try different ways. So how to sell yourself better? Let's get to it, straight to the point, okay? How many of you like my core and like the way I look? Do not type no. I'm not expecting a no here, all right? Just kidding. Now, presence of mind is important when you're in the moment, and the way you look is very, very important. Now, why did I speak of presence of mind? Is because if you're attending a formal company, or if their company's culture is most importantly formal, then you got to dress formally. But for companies like Google, Yahoo, where the company's culture itself is slightly casual, probably you could try and see how different you could look from the rest of them. Understanding company's culture and present yourself accordingly. So your outfit matters, your attire matters. I'm sure you're going to take care of your hair, the way you look, your smile and everything. I know most of you are men. Men find it very difficult to smile. Am I right or wrong? How many of you agree to it? I don't know how many of you agree to it. Most of you are not even replying. All right. Smiling is always the best start for the moment. Wrong, they say. Oh, thank you. So men do smile. So all of you are young boys and girls. If there are girls in here, the batch is. Do we have girls in this particular batch? If yes, type yes on the chat box. All right. That's wonderful. I'm so thrilled knowing the answer is yes. Brilliant. So all that you got to do is, the way you look matters because that boosts your confidence. When you dress well, that matters. It boosts your confidence. When you smile, you're going to be relaxed for that very moment. And it also gives an impression to the person who's in front of you that you are confident, which matters. So outlook is everything, and that's important. Now, speaking about probably the structure of speaking skills, which you can utilize when you're in front of an interviewer, is You got to understand your audience. Right? Now, you do not have an audience. Your audience are nobody but your interviewer. You got to understand their mindset. You got to understand what is their real expectation from you. Why have they come to hire you? So do your back-end research and be right. All right. Now, what's the next most point when you're in front of interviewers? Some of us tend to speak too much. Some of us end up speaking a liner. For those who speak a liner, if it is prompt, it is right, it's excellent. Shorter the better, you're still coming to the point. But when you're in front of an interviewer, it's your moment. Remember, there's nobody else in the room other than you. So take your moment. Ensure that you have at least 2 or 3 lines to speak for the question that is being asked to you. Do not give single word as an answer. If you're giving single word as an answer, maybe the person who is interviewing you at times can think that maybe he's not very confident or she isn't confident about this particular interview. All right. So do your back-end research, have your guidelines in place, have your script in place. What am I going to talk? At times, questions are going to be different. At times, it's going to be strictly about the content that you need to deliver. So do your work and present it better. Well, before I move on to the next part, is there anyone who's got a question who would like to ask something that I could address here? I'm going to quickly see the chat window. If you've got a question, could you please leave a question here? I'll take one question now and then move on to the topic again. There's nobody who's asking a question. Really? Well, that's wonderful. This is brilliant. Is there a question that you would like to ask? Okay, so let's continue in that case. Well, so MechMites, when I talk on technical aspect, like I said before, I'm not the right person, but I'm going to tell you more about speaking skills. And let's get deep to the speaking skills when you're in front of an interviewer. Now, speaking on something that you're confident about makes you comfortable because you've got enough information to speak about it, right? When you are comfortable, you are going to be in the moment. You're going to have a proper flow. Your fluency gets better and you can deliver better, which is very important. And that's why you got to do your back-end search. You got to do your homework. You got to prepare yourself and be there. But at times, what about those questions which aren't technical? Probably you prepared something and up there are no technical questions and they end up asking you non-technical questions. For say, the first one that we took today was, tell me about yourself. The next one, what are your hobbies? So if there's a question of this kind, I'm just going to take this as an example, but if you've got a specific question, I want you to leave that in the chat box so that I can address that later on. Now, what are your hobbies? Most of them end up saying, I love listening to the music, I love dancing, I love watching TV, I love Netflixing, etc. Now, all of these are great. Sidelining it, absolutely perfect. But this is where you can show your speaking skills and probably just leave an impression right there. And that is, you would say, I love Netflixing. I like content on something that makes me smile. So I watch a lot more comedy-related content on Netflix. Now you're building the aspect of hobbies. You're also saying, without them asking you why, you're saying, what do you watch on Netflix? You're also giving them an idea that you're a jovial person. You're telling an interviewer that I like to have fun. I know how to balance my time. I give importance to studies, but I also know sometimes it's okay to take some time out and have your own time. So you build on what is it that you're doing for. And then you speak on singing. For example, if you like singing, I'm just going to take this as an example. If that works, great. If not, I want you to leave your comments there on the chat box. And that is, I learned singing from my mother. And my mother says singing calms your mind. During those stressful situations, during those times of my exams, when I need to study so much, I need to prepare so much, I tend to probably sing to myself, which calms my mind, rejuvenates my mind, and I come back to working and giving 100% to my work. Now, when you're saying answers like this, they do know that you can handle stressful situations. Because as a corporate company, there's going to be stress. There's going to be a lot more work that's in line for you. So they want to know how well you handle the stress. So the moment you utilize the answers like, why do you like this particular hobby and what do you do, things can get better. So Elton has asked, if they ask me to talk something about my project, how long am I supposed to talk for and how deep I should talk about my project? Will they have patience to hear? That's a very good question. They're there to interview you. I think they should have patience to hear. Don't worry about what he or she is going to think about. But as you, as a person, when you're talking about your project, ensure there are 5 strong pointers about the project. 5 strong pointers. So start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and look at them. I would like to elaborate point number 1, explain. Point number 2, explain. It could go about anywhere between 3 or 4 minutes or 5 minutes about your project. Because if you're talking about your project, you know how much about that particular subject is what you are telling your interviewer, and that matters. For a company, I think, like I said, content is the king. A person who has content is going to sell better. If you know how to present yourself, you're going to speak better. So the simple way to start is my project is, it is based on dash and the 5 strong pointers for why I've chosen this to be my project or what is the selling pointers, speak about it, and then say, I would like to emphasize on point number 1 because I feel that's, you got to realize what are your 5 pointers, what is it that you're going to stress about. 3 to 4 minutes or 5 minutes max is good time. And if you're speaking well, your interviewer is going to listen to you. If you aren't, you're using a lot of which means you're not prepared for it. You haven't put in that much of homework that's required to speak better. Then go back, work on it, make it better. That's the only pointer here. So I'm going to quickly check on the next message here. Will they have patience? For sure, they need to have. That's why they are there. If they don't, that's their problem. That's not your problem to worry about. And they will, like you're talking about when you're describing about your hobbies, I think you're making it interesting. It's not about you talking about your hobbies. What is important for you to understand at this point in time is you're making your words interesting enough for the other person to hear about it. And that's why you're talking that way. I mean, you're going to be different compared to the rest as well. So you're going to be entertaining. They're going to listen to you. How should I react to a question which I don't know or have no answer for it, like during technical interview? That's a very good question. If you do not know an answer, if there is a certain word within that particular question, you could say, I do not know the right answer for this particular question. Maybe I can go back and learn more about it. However, this one word triggers a thought in my mind. If there's a specific word that is in that particular question, which reminds you something, you know something about it, talk about that. But if there's nothing, just accept it. There's nothing wrong about accepting what you do not know. That shows your intent, and intent must be right. The person who has right intent might get through the interview. I'm sure out of 5, at least 3 questions you might know, or at least 4, or maybe 2, but whichever you know, speak confidently, speak with content, give relevant information. That's important. Don't worry about something you do not know. Focus on your strengths. When you focus on your strength, you seem to be a stronger candidate than the rest. And that should be your focus right there at that point in time. What you know, do it better. What you do not know, do not bother about it. So if there's a technical question that is asked and you do not know the answer, all that you can say is, I apologize, and I would like to be fair enough in stating that I do not know an answer for this particular question. However, I would like to read more about it later on. Is there anything else that you would like to know about? I would be more than happy to answer to those questions. And be rightful. You're being kind, you're being humble, you're grounded, and you're accepting the point that you do not know. There's nothing wrong in saying I do not know. We're human beings and we can't know everything about it. There are certain things that we know, there are certain things that we do not know. Now, if you're given a question, okay, you know about our company, you know about this is what we're talking about. Tell me what you know about this. Now you get your pointer. Now the ball is in your court. Now start talking. Now talk about the pointers that you know. Tell them everything about it. Like I said, start with the top 5 pointers and then build on to it one after the other. When you speak on those 5 pointers, the alertness of the interviewer is going to be very high. And when you start building onto it, they know that you prepared well. So meanwhile, they might just cut you out and say, oh, I know about it. Okay, this is nice. That's nice. Let's go to the next question. That can happen. Take it gracefully. Accepting gracefully is the key. Whenever you do not know certain things or you do not know how to handle that particular question or that situation. All right, I'm going to go to the next question here by Joel Fleming Mascarenas. If the company is of marketing and tell me to sell a product, how to approach it, and it's a bit tough selling product. Hey, now you come to my zone. Now, this is something I like the most. I love selling things, okay? So maybe you do not know everything about the product at that particular point in time. If you know about the product, that's great. Talk about its feature. Tell why you are different from the rest of the competitors in the market. Use these words. It's the words that matter, nothing else. Remember, speaking is all about words or the choice of words that you make at that point in time. How do you sell yourself better? Say, I bank on this particular product that you're talking about, whichever the product is. And because of its features that stands tall, I affirm to say that this product is brilliant. And if it's not too much humorous to say and you really need to sell it, you say someone like a person who has high credibility, as high as Virat Kohli, for example, who is the India captain. He banks on this product. Virat himself visited our factory and spoke about this particular product. We've done so much more. If you have knowledge and you know what you're talking to connect with it is right, you can talk about the product and just use Virat Kohli as an example and connect it to. If not, then just tell them towards the end that, this is just an example, but the content that was provided about the product is right. And that's how you sell it. You sell better than how you could have done it otherwise. And whenever you sell the product, I think you got to understand the real features of it, the real intrinsic pointers of that particular product. And that's when you can present them better. I'm going to go to the next question here. I hope I've answered your question. If not, you can write them back to me here. And I believe selling something is never tough. It's rather very easy. You just have to convince the customer or whoever is in front of you saying, this is brilliant. I bank on it and I'm sure you're going to love it. And you got to have the right intent when you're speaking about the product, and that must be seen in your eyes and the other person must understand it. How do I answer? Where do you see yourself in 5 or 10 years? Another nice question. Okay, so where do you see yourself in 5 or 10 years? In next 5 years? Okay, the best way to approach this particular question is, I am someone who's goal-oriented. I love to have small goals for myself. As I wake up every morning, I think this is what I'm going to achieve. This is what I'm going to do. In the next 3 years, I would like to have a good job. I would like to have financial security. Words like this always triggers thought process. The next question will be, do you think you will attain financial stability or financial stability in next 3 years? The answer is, I'll be happy that I've chosen a path where financial stability is through, and I'm going to keep working for it. I'm not sure if I'm going to attain it in 3 years. That's my goal, but my goal is going to be continued. And I know at least latest by 5 years, I'm going to have financial stability. Now, in next 5 years, I want to be more confident. I want to gain knowledge. I want to be someone who is known for the stuff up here, who is someone who walks the talk. I want to be an inspiration, a role model to my fellow youngsters who look at us and say, this is something that I want to become. So I want to be someone who lives the talk that whatever I spoke about, right? So you got to speak in these lines, something like financial stability, something like, I want to be a more confident person. I want to build on my knowledge. I want to build on my experience. I want to learn as much as possible so that in next 10 years, what I dream to be is to be in leadership positions, to be in management roles, to discover more opportunities for myself in bringing my dreams to reality. So when you use words like this, you always know you're talking what you want to do. And honestly speaking, in next 5 or 10 years, what is it that you really want to do? You should know, and you should write down in your book and connect it to your dreams that you really believe in. If your intent is right, whatever I've spoken just before, you can connect it extremely well and deliver better. And I think that would be a better way, a better approach, because that's when you're connecting it to yourself, and that matters. Now, how do you answer if company asked, I'm going to go back to that chat window. If company asks, why should we hire you? Now, I think I just spoke about this some time back. I think I am a right hire because I am a hardworking candidate. I am someone who believes in learning new things. I am someone who gives 100% to my work. My intent is right. My integrity is high. And I believe I can give it all. I'm young. I am someone who is fascinating. I'm someone who is goal-centric. And I think your company is going to be, don't say your company, rather say our company or this company or dash company. This particular company is going to be benefited by young minds like me. And I would like to be someone who's a strong contributor towards the company's growth. And words like this is going to place you right, and you can sell yourself better. Like I said, it's all about selling yourself better. I'm going to take the next question now. A question from YouTube live stream. Question is, what if they ask, what are your weaknesses? Okay, so this is an interesting question. I would like to attempt it in 2 different ways. Whichever best suits you with your personality, you need to answer. Now, whatever I've given you answers, I don't want you to by heart or write them in your book. Rather, connect it to your personal self, your own personality, believe in it, and then present it. Because that's when you're going to be true to your words. Okay, let's get to it. So what are your weaknesses? So you are going to say, I am someone who believes in one's own strength and who believes in developing your strengths so much that weaknesses can be nullified. But as a human being, I do know that I do have weaknesses. I'm going to slow and steady work on it, but rather bank on my strengths, which would be better for companies' growth, which would be better for me to give 100% when I know my strengths and when I bank on it. Simple as that. Now, the other way around to look at it, the second approach is, what are your weaknesses? I'm going to read that question again. What if they ask, what are your weaknesses? Now you could say, I do have few weaknesses, just like everybody else. But what I believe is, if I focus more on weaknesses, I may not succeed too much. But if I want to give it all, I would like to work on these weaknesses day after day, little by little. And I don't want really to state right here that these are my weaknesses. And I would rather say my strength is stronger and I would like to work on it and give it all. Leave it there. Never state your weaknesses just after being there, because the more you talk about weaknesses, they're going to drag through it and pick one after the other to speak more about it. Focus on your strengths, focus on your positives, focus on how you are, who you are, and speak about it. For example, if your strength is confidence, talk about confidence. For example, if your strength is taking every moment joyfully, that's your strength. If your strength is learning, that's your strength. So focus on your particular strength and build your answer. And if they ask you the next question, we still want to know what your weaknesses are, then you would say whatever you've got in mind at that particular time. I think you should say that weaknesses are simple as, at times I tend to lose heart when I've given it all, but sometimes I find it difficult to cope up with it. But like I said before, my strength is to move on. My strength is to believe in positivity. I think it just overpowers my weaknesses, and I turn out to be someone who believes in my strength, and that's who I am. Okay, I think that would answer your question. I hope I've answered your question. The next one is from Radvik Punja. How to develop positive attitude and how to keep nervousness away during an interview. Positive attitude comes from several other aspects, right from how you look, how you have prepared for the interview, number two. And you could do affirmations to work on it. Affirmations are, I'm going to crack this interview. This is going to be the best day of my life. I'm going to get a desired job that I'm looking forward for. This is the day that I've been waiting for. This is my moment. Look to yourself in the mirror. Look to your eyes. Affirm yourself. Say it as loud as you can. Believe in these words. Don't just say it because you have to say it, but believe in these words. The more you believe in these words, psychologically, you're going to have that in your mind and you can present better. But what if you've been doing your affirmations right, you're going there, but then you're like nervous. I do not know how to face it. Now, ask yourself one important question. The people who are sitting on the other side of the table, they are humans just like me. What maximum is going to happen? I may not crack this interview. Do I have other opportunities? Yes. What maximum can happen if I fumble, if I stumble? Do I have another opportunity? Yes. I'm going to walk into that door, be myself, be confident, and just speak my heart out. If I know something, I'm going to speak about it. If I do not know, I will simply say I do not know. And I think humbleness, genuine feelings, people like it, people respect it. And people are not going to judge you. So the feeling of being judged makes you nervous. The feeling of thinking that, oh, my friends got placed, I haven't, makes you nervous. A feeling of back home, your mom and dad calling you and asking, have you got placed? Puts you in a nervousness position. So at that particular time, do not ask your friend if he or she is placed. Do not answer to anyone's calls. I hope you have phones. Do not answer to anyone's calls. Keep them on an airplane mode. Keep them away. At that particular point in time, just ask yourself, how important is this job for me? What difference is this job going to create to my life? Am I the right candidate who's going to walk in there and crack this interview? And if deep down right here, you know the answer is yes, walk confidently, put that smile, even if it's a fake smile, and walk to that door. Just be you. And if the interview is just asking you, feeling nervous, don't hide your nervousness. Rather say, can I get a moment? I'm slightly nervous and I don't know why it is. I've prepared well for the interview. Somewhere around my heart's beating hard. Can I just sip some water, please? Sip some water. It's not putting you in any different mode. You're different from the rest because you accepted the situation. Accepting the situation makes you different. Remember that. Be you at that moment. If you're happy about the interview, just go up there and say, I have been waiting for this moment. Thank you so much. Good morning, madam. Good morning, sir. I'm thrilled for this interview. I would like to give my best. Just pause. Just smile. Even before they start, they have a smile on their face. And that's how you stand different from the audience. So different from your interviewer, rather. And be yourself. All right. So don't worry about anything. And that's how you can put a positive attitude and keep your nervousness away during an interview. What if all my friends said the same and I'm the next? Here I recall a Hindi song, rather, which I would like to say the lines of these. Okay. It's going to be difficult, but you got to tame your mind for it. Nothing in life comes easy. I would like to just say these lines to you. कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे, लोगों का काम है कहना, छोड़ो बेकार की बातों में, बीत ना जाए रहना. So even if you crack an interview, somebody's going to talk about it. If you did not, someone else is going to talk about it. Your friends are going to say, you are next. It's okay. You say, I am the best, right? Affirm those words in your mind. Have that attitude. Build it on. Before you prepare yourself for an interview, maybe at least for a few hours before, affirm those words in your mind, or at least start this 24 hours prior. Talk to yourself in your mind. Stand before a mirror. Talk. Prepare yourself. And remember to be you, not somebody else. Just be you. As long as you're you, You are different and you're going to be selling yourself better. And I think that's what, as a person who is wanting to hire people, will be looking forward for. They don't need same people again, right? They don't need another Steve Jobs. They're not in search of it. They are in search of that unique candidate who can be not Steve Jobs, but better than Steve Jobs, or maybe someone who can contribute better to the company's growth. And that is important. So be you and nobody else. That's the whole highlight here. So don't worry what your friend says. Remember to say, I am the best. What if they ask if I have any questions? Okay. So if they ask, if you have a question, ask a question, right? So simply ask them a question. If you do not, just say, I don't have a question, but I'll be thrilled if I get this job because this job matters the most to me. Because at that point in time, remember, guys, that's your moment to speak. And when you have your moment to speak, you grab that moment. That's very important. Okay? Now, companies not always look for people who are intelligent, smart, brave, that they hire. At times, they look for people whom they can mold and make them better. Now, do you have any questions? You could, if you have a question, of course, ask them a question saying, yes, I would like to ask you something. These are the questions in my mind. Ask them. Whatever your questions are, I can't read your mind at this point in time. But if you do not have, there's a better way of talking there now. You have a chance. You say, I do not have a question, but I am highly anticipating and looking forward for this job. I hope I make it. What are the aspects you think that you liked about this interview from my end? Maybe I can learn from this very opportunity and be better from this day on. Just say these words. Maybe if you're through the interview, that point you get to know, they make you wait. If not, that person might be genuine enough to say, better luck next time. And if you get to listen to these words, you got to come back strong. Now, this is the moment that you learn. You got to ask them, what are the aspects that you liked about this interview? And may I also understand what are the aspects that you did not like about my content or my speech? May I please understand that? Use the words like, may I please understand, and your question, so that you learn from that particular situation and it helps you be better for the next interview, because it's not the end, you see. All right. Another question from the live stream. Ma'am, when we are successful, it tends to boost my ego. How to overcome that? Hey, aren't we all successful every day? Well, that's a nice question, though. Now, what I feel is success for every person is different. Now, for me, success is all about waking up the next morning. If I'm alive, I got to do something. If I'm not, I don't know about it, right? So for me, that is success. Waking up every morning is my success. But what is success for you? That is something you need to define on it, work on it. And it not always boosts your ego, because success comes with a lot of falls and rises. And I think eventually you become humble, you learn from it. So don't go too far to understand how to just think about your ego, whatever it is. Rather, stay in the moment, be grounded, be you, and remember that we still do not know if we will wake up tomorrow morning. So today is your time. This is your moment. Give it all. Give it 100%. Even if you walk out of that room, you got to know that I have nailed it. I have lived through this moment. I was happy doing it. It was my choice. And that's what success should mean for you. If you woke up this morning, you cooked a meal for yourself, that should be your success. You woke up this morning, you went for an interview, you cracked your interview, you got the interview result, you made it. You got to be happy about it. But never take the baggage along saying, oh, I am bigger. No, come on. You always have someone bigger than you in this world to say that, we got to look above or look down or whatever it is. Rather be happy, be humble, and just remember that you never know if you're going to live through the next day. So stay grounded, be you. And I think that's what is very important. And it takes time. to change your attitude, change your thinking process. So talk to yourself as much as possible. The next question is, how do our interviewers feel while interviewing? What are the things going in their mind? Now, come on, you're really asking me that question, aren't you? I do not know what's going on in an interviewer's mind or what is it that's running in their mind. For some, it could be as simple as they're interviewing you, talking to you, but thinking about their child back home, right? For some, it could be as simple as a fight with a wife. For some, it could be living in that moment, listening to you carefully. There are various situations, but I rather say, do not worry about what he or she is thinking. You worry about how you want to give that particular interview. You worry about yourself. You live in that particular moment. Think about you, think about your thoughts, bring your thoughts together, bring your content together and deliver. Don't worry about what he's going to think, no matter. Doesn't matter. You worry about yourself, just like an airplane, खुद का मास्क पहले पहनना चाहिए और उसके बाद में दूसरों के बारे में सोचना चाहिए. I think that's important. And as long as you do that, you're doing great. You're doing wonderful. All right, I am going to look for another question here. And that is tips to overcome nervousness and anxiety before an interview. Okay, let's do this. Okay, let's do this together. I hope you are not going to cheat. You're going to do this with me together. Okay, I want all of you, whoever is in here, okay, just close your eyes and listen to what I'm saying right now. Just close your eyes with me. I'm going to do that with you guys. Close your eyes. First, take a deep breath in and out. Calm your mind. That's the step one to relieve you out of anxiety. This is what you should be doing whenever you're heading to an interview. Maybe just before an interview door, doesn't matter what somebody else is thinking. You sit there, you close your eyes, you take 3 deep breaths. Calm your mind. Now talk to yourself. I've prepared for this very interview. I know what I've done. I know how much this moment matters for me. I want to give it all. I want to be my best. Today is the day that puts my 4 years of engineering into test. My parents have really worked hard to make me an engineering student. And today is the moment that I'm going to make them proud. I make it or not, I do not know. But I want to give my best. Open your eyes. Come back to that moment. Be you. And when you walk out there to that very room, you know that you definitely have nervousness. Everybody does. But you're definitely a little level of anxietiness must have come down. Now you have a normal level of nervousness. Even today, after 10 years of anchoring experience in my life, when I walk up to the stage, I'm still nervous. Because the first moment, I do not know how my audience react to it. I do not know what I'm talking. Are they going to listen to it? Are they going to like it? I do not know. So I don't worry about them. Rather, I don't put my energy into them. I put my energy into myself. And I walk up there with a little level of nervousness and start doing what I'm best at, talking. You must know what you're best at. I'm sure you're best at mechanical engineering. You've learned it. You have your content right. So trust your content. Trust your intelligence. As long as you do that, you know you're going to give your best. The level of nervousness, or probably it's mostly because you're always worried about somebody else. Now you're putting your energy on something else. Don't do that. Put your energy on yourself. As long as the energy stays in you, you're going to give your best. And that's what matters at that point in time. I do not know technical language of it, but I can confidently say that when you step up to give your interview next, you're going to be your best. I'm going to quickly take you through or brush you through the lines. Look to the eyes of the interviewer. or look to the virtual camera lens here as much as possible. Whoever is up here, I don't want you to look to the screen now. I want you to look to the camera lens. Let's do this exercise here. Okay? I hope you're doing it with me. I want you to look to the camera lens, both eyes to the camera lens. Smile naturally. Okay? Don't force yourself. Be natural at it. I know most of you are on mute. Stay mute and repeat after me. Now, my name is Reena D'Souza. I want you to say your name when I'm saying the script here. And that is, I am dash, your name. I am dash. This day is special. Repeat after me. I hope you guys are doing this. This day is special. This is the day that I'm going to take one step ahead towards my dream. And I'm going to be my best. I've prepared well. I know my content better. I'm going to deliver better. I'm going to stay confident. I'm dressed well. I know what I need to speak. I have my numbers to show, my report cards, my percentage that I've scored over the years. Some might say it's great. For some, it might be average. Average or not, I am going to be better than the average in this particular interview. For this interview matters the most for me. Take a deep breath and be you and rock it. All right? And in an interview, if possible, use your hand gestures naturally. Don't do it too much. Because when you're using your hand gestures, you're telling your interviewer that your intent is right. You believe in your words. You know what you're talking. So use your hand gestures efficiently. If you're talking about point number A, you can use your left hand. If you're talking about point number B, use your right hand. So that whenever you're referring to point A or point B, you move your hands accordingly and present better. Okay? So presentation skills matter the most when you're talking. You must be wondering, not really, but that's how you're going to be different. And that's what your interviewer will be looking out for. I see that there's another question that's come in. So I'm going to quickly pick that question now. I hope I've helped you so far, guys. How do I stop fumbling during an interview? Okay. Now, fumbles come into your language if you're not very comfortable speaking in that particular language. If it's English that you fumble the most, then you need to work on your language. You need to fix ways of doing that. You need it in a short duration. So I would like to tell you what you could do immediately. So crack your interviews quicker. One, for a lifetime, if your language needs to get better, read 30 minutes every day, any content of your choice. 30 minutes every day. How to read it? Read it loudly. Read it loudly. Does not matter if you remember the content or not, if you remember what you're reading or not. Read loudly 30 minutes to better your English language. In next 3 to 6 months, I guarantee you, it's my word, mark my words. If you want to sign, I can do that right away. Mark my words, your language is going to get better. You got to do this consecutively, and you got to do this only 30 minutes every day. 30 minutes loud reading is the number one approach to get fluent in English. The next way to get better is to have clear thought process. Now, there are too many thought process, but you do not know which one to pick and talk. So you got to have clear thought process. Meditation can help in that point in time. So you could do 10 minutes of meditation every day if that helps. Adding on to it, maybe 2 topics every day. Pick up your phone, keep it in front of you. It could be technical, non-technical, anything. Record yourself. Talk confidently in front of the camera. First week, second week, third week, you may not really like what you're talking or the way you look. Eventually, you will get better. And when you're getting better, you know you're speaking better. When you're speaking better, your fumbles are slowly going to go away. It's going to take some time, but it's going to go away. Also, if you have a lot more wrong pronunciation, listen to the best speakers in the world and correct your wrong pronunciation yourself, maybe about 10 minutes every day. And it's going to get better. Slow and steady, you're going to be better. And this is a long-term approach. Now, the short-term approach will be, you do know what are the frequently asked questions during an interview. I want you to write it down in your book. And how would your approach be for these questions? Maybe the answers as well. Read them every day. Get comfortable with your own language. Get comfortable with the words that you've written in that particular paper. And read them every day. Get comfortable. Over the period of time, the fumbles are gone and you can speak better. So familiarity with the language will eliminate fumbleness. Okay? So I think I have answered to that question. So it's a long-term plus a short-term approach. Last question, ma'am. How could you recall your engineering days at MIT? And there's one more question. How was your journey to reach these heights, and how was your college days in MIT? Whoa, I like this. I love talking about it. Well, MIT has been a life-changing moment for me, and studying in MIT has been the best times of my life, to be very honest. I did not know I wanted to be an anchor, like Mr. D'Souza, if I'm not wrong, did an introduction today. As he mentioned, it was Professor Gerard D'Souza who spotted my talent during the MC audition for Sensia's second year or first year Sensia. I think it was the third year. We are the third batch out from MIT. So the Sensia elections were on and they wanted an MC. There were auditions that was going on. I went to the audition. I got through. It was Professor Gerard D'Souza who said, I have something in me and I got to take this to the next step. And that's where it all started. So MIT has been very, very close to me, dear to me rather, and has brought me closer to my dreams. I didn't even know if that was my dream rather. I think that's the best thing to say. And all that I remember was I have actually failed at times to enjoy my MIT days because I used to go to college and evening finish your classes, head to Mangalore, do my shooting, and the schedule was on and on. Go back to Mudbidri, and then Mangalore, Mudbidri was on every day. So most of my days went on like that, and I could not really nurture my own relationships, my friends who were around, and for some times that I really think I should have. And I missed out on doing that, but you don't do that, okay? You got to enjoy your time with your friends, have a good time, because you never know you're going to meet them again. You're definitely going to see them in social media, but maybe not meet them every time. Some of them will stay with you. You stay with them too. But if you realize what your dream is, be true to it till as long as possible and work for it, because dreams do come true. And I've had great time at MIT, and I'm very grateful to be MITE alumni, Mangalore Institute of Technology and Engineering, and to all of you for taking time out and joining us here in the session today. I hope I haven't bored you and I've answered your question. I did not take too deep into a subject of effective communication. For maybe if you're on stage to speak, it's easier, but the main subject was how to crack an interview. I stuck to this topic. I hope I've answered your questions. If I have not, then you can reach out to me on my social media. I'll be more than happy to reach out to you and help you there. And I hope your time was valued. And thank you so much once again for joining us in the live session. If there's any other questions, I will give you a quick 3 minutes now, and you can type in your questions on the chat box, and I'll be more than happy to answer them. If I can't convince them, should I confuse them? Well, at times confusing your interviewers is good, provided you do know what you're talking. Provided you do know that what you're confusing about is 100% right? You got to be that smart to doing that. It's okay to confuse them. There's nothing wrong. At times, anyone can get confused. You know, they don't have enough time to go to Google search and get answers right. So there's nothing wrong about it. But I would rather say, try and convince them as much as possible. At least 95% of the times, try and convince them. Tell them why you are the right candidate. And I think that works best rather than confusing them. All right. I think I've got one last question here, which I would take on, and that is all right. With that, we're done. I hope I have given you some good insights, and I hope this helps you. Once again, thank you so much, McMites, and thank you for all of you for taking time out and joining us here. I had a great time talking to you guys. Once again, thank you. Have a blast, and my best wishes to all of you. Crack your interviews. May you get the desired job that you're looking out for. May all your dreams come true. God bless, stay blessed, and keep smiling. Enjoy your moments. Stay in the moment. Be you. Be real, be grounded, because that's going to take you long in life and far in life. Thank you once again.
Wow, that was amazing, ma'am. Thank you very much for this wonderful session. It was really captivating, enthusiastic, and very interacting, and we could all connect with you entirely through the session. Thank you for making it such an interacting and a memorable event. And patiently, and also a great heartfelt thank you for patiently answering all the questions and queries. We got to know deeper insights on personal development, how to crack an interview, and I'm sure and all the people who have watched this and be present in this webinar would crack the interviews with great flying colors. And yeah, with this, it's our pleasure having you with us, and we would like to express our heartfelt gratitude on behalf of McMites and Mite family. And also thank you for cherishing your memories, sweet memories with the Mite. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you once again for this wonderful session. Now, gratitude is the memory of the heart. It's a duty to thank the guest of today's event. May I now call upon Mr. Radvik Punja, Vice President McMites, to deliver the vote of thanks.
A warm and a graceful afternoon to our most valued Honorable Resource Person, Ms. Reena D'Souza, our Principal, Dr. G.L. Ishwar Prasad, Management Committee, worthy teachers, my dear friends, and everyone gathered here. It's my privilege to propose a vote of thanks speech and acknowledge the contribution of those who worked really hard to make this virtual technical talk successful one. I, Radvik, on behalf of McMites and the entire fraternity of the institution, extend my most sincere thanks to our Honorable Resource Person, Ms. Reena D'Souza, who spared time from her busiest schedule to grace the occasion. Today we had an opportunity to hear your thoughts, ma'am, and this will surely be going to encourage us in our future events. I am immensely thankful to our beloved chairman, Mr. Rajesh Chauta, for his constant support, our esteemed principal, Dr. G.L. Ishwar Prasad, HOD Mechanical Department, Dr. C.R. Rajshekhar, for his constant motivation. In addition to this, I would like to express my gratitude to Mr. Shivramu Sir, McMites Coordinator, for his generous support, and also to our McMites President, Mr. Nishchit. A big thank you to each one of you who made this virtual technical talk celebration memorable one for all of us. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Radvik. I'm sure we all could say that today was a great day and we learned something new. And I want to thank everyone for your active participation and making it through the session and making it a great success. Thank you all. Thank you one and all. Have a great day. Bye-bye. See ya.
Thank you once again, guys. Thank you so much. Have a great time. Bye.
ಸರ್ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಹಾಂ ಮುಗೀತು ಮುಗೀತು ಹಾಂ